Well, that's something. There we go. Oh, right on the bag. Soft landing.
Yeah. That's supposed to.
Another. Yeah, that was really holding things up well. Look at that. There's nothing left. Back at it here at the collapsing corner store project. So last time we were here, the back floor went away. And while we weren't here, the basement stairs fell down. Yeah, they were definitely in rough condition. Not quite the way we want them to go. We'd rather take them down, but down is down. So when they went over, I think it knocked this beam, since those posts are kind of rotten. So we're going to support that. We got some 2x10s. We're just going to run a few side to side. And then those 2x6s by Dave there, we are going to support these stairs up to the second floor because they stay, but the floor framing under needs to go and be rebuilt a lot better than what was there. So we're just going to run some 2x6s up after we get the old basement stairs out of the way. And that should be sufficient. It looks like it's tied in enough up there. So that then allows us to get out of the way, or get this out of the way rather, and really start getting the new posts in and getting things going really back together back here. So let's get at it. Also need to finish clearing off the second floor, and we got a new dumpster out back, so I'm going to take care of this before we mess with the stairs, just in case. May just lean the other way.
I know, but I gotta go down.
Alright, it'll hold for the moment. Well, I said I would come back for this missing stud next door, and there it is. Masons have been working out the wall, up to the wall out there. Pretty much done. Now we're getting the leftovers cleaned up from where it goes around chimneys and windows and stuff. You'd think it would slide out easier than that. And also got one brace on there to hold it up. We'll add a little bit more, but doesn't need too much. And that's a question anyway. We may, both of these remaining posts have bad bottoms. We may just pull the whole thing. We'll see. But the first thing we need to see is if that'll... I guess there's enough friction on there that it just doesn't want to go. It's not through the wall. Oh, you're just holding. I thought you were reaching outside to check. But I think it's almost through the wall. Oh, we're eagerly anticipating. I'm gonna run out of film before it ever comes out. It's gotta be almost there.
Yeah, it is almost outside.
The wall's only 3 courses thick.
That's deep.
That really is almost outside. Okay. They didn't want it to go anywhere, I guess. Everything's cleaned up here now. And swept a little bit, so we are probably just gonna be done up here until it's time to replace the second floor. And so just looking at things a little more closely, that doesn't look so great. But we won't be able to really tell all of these until we get all the subfloor off up here. And that is certainly easier done when we have a good solid first floor to work off of. So we're just gonna focus below now. There's certainly plenty to clean up down there. And as you can see, we got a nice big 40-yard dumpster to fill up. Yeah, it's always interesting to see the choices made when it was originally built. A lot of times the buildings that were in here of similar age, they will rest the framing on the lintels in the wall, but in this case they just headered around the windows, which honestly I think is a better approach, at least as far as time goes, because a lot of times those lintels will sag under the weight. This seems much stronger, and it's definitely holding on a little bit there. As we just learned, they go a pretty hefty distance into the wall. Maybe easier just to cut the middle out of that. Okay, we'll check back in. Well, that's always fun. So, status update. That seems solid. Okay, well, we'll see what that takes.
I got it.
Well, as you saw, the rest is out, and this was still given a bit of a fit, but with enough persistence. Well, we've taken the floor out. Now we got a gap under the doors to fill up. So, on a temporary basis, a little bit of OSB. That's simple. Same thing there. Always something. Got a nice temporary support in place. That should hold for however long we need here. All tied together. So, they felt great going up and down. The best they've felt the whole time we've been here. Well, we're back to August heat. Heat index is back well over 100 today, so packing up a couple hours early. No use in working yourself till you're sick, so that's our mess for tomorrow. Yippee. Other reason we were leaving early is it looked like some storms were blowing up and we weren't exactly sure what was going to happen, but nice. Yeah, so we don't really want to be there during a storm. It doesn't look super windy, but yeah, not the greatest place to be. At home with my unfinished projects here. Yeah, that's better. Back the next morning after another 3 to 4 inches of rain for the second time in 3 days. As you can see, the rain just flows into the basement still, and looks like it went right into our little hole that we had dug. I guess that's the low spot. There's no floor drain, so maybe that's good that we dug a sump pit. Anyway, time to carry all this, the rest of this mess out at least. I don't think it'll take too long. Get it done this morning while it's not terribly hot. Got all floor joists out in about an hour or so. It's a pain walking up and down the steps over here. So now we just got to pick up all this miscellaneous debris, and the quicker the better, because it's so humid down here. The rain that all flowed in and the water and everything is just trapped in here. Hit it hard and got everything cleaned up in just over 3 hours. Not too bad for having to take everything up these stairs that I actually tripped on the bottom coming down. Thankfully, nothing bad. And then the dumpster over there. So, starting to fill up, but plenty of room for more. So, we're gonna abandon ship a little early today again as well, just because the heat and humidity combined have the heat index well over 100 again, and it does not feel good. We are just soaked and sweating. That's after just drying my face off a moment ago. So yeah, pick up our stuff, head out, and then we're not going to be back for a couple days because tomorrow I am closing on the project that we have teased a couple times. That's a special personal project that's going to be starting soon. So we'll be sure to get videos going on that as well. That'll be really exciting. But that will not finish us up here yet. We'll be back whenever we get our post sizing, whether it's 6x6 or 6x8, fill that back in, start getting this put back together. So see you back here in a few days. So we're back next door dealing with some plumber needs. And they drilled Jack and King this window on both sides. So we're gonna have to fix that. We also need to make the pipes up there work, so we're gonna header this a little bit. While we're back over here next door taking care of a few small tasks, prying this pocket door track back into place, and gotta love, oh, it came loose. Gotta love leverage. Outsmart the task at hand. Look at that, just about there. If you remember, this was really tight because when we built these two walls, we spaced them with a 2x4, and apparently it was a slightly narrower 2x4 than we ended up using for the track. So we've had to kind of force it into place, but in one sense that makes it a little bit easier because it has also held it the whole time that we've been working it. So the top of the 2x4 that the track is mounted to needs to be 8 feet 6 1/8 inches above the subfloor, which that's probably pretty close to it. Oh, look how it slightly gets a little looser up there, I think. But it holds the other 2x4 in place. Okay, so I think we got some marks up there to get it, and actually you're slightly high, I think.
Yeah,
You're good. You're good on the left, and then probably a touch high over here. So that should work out, and then we'll just don't think we have the structural screws here. We were just going to run screws through to hold it for the long term, so we may have to follow up tomorrow on that, but we'll pop some toe screws in for the temporary purposes. We got a 3-saw project on these, so slice as far up as the circular saw allows, then follow up with the reciprocating saw, and then finish it off with timing is everything. Finish it off with the oscillating saw. So okay, probably gonna have to hit that because it is both nailed and adhesived, but this one is already out. You can see the problem there. I had to run out for something else, so I went ahead and grabbed the structural screws, so getting those driven through, that'll make a nice strong hold. See, we're using the big flatheads so they won't stick out for drywall. Alright, so drove the flat bar in there, and it should just peel it off. There we go. That's the plumber's hole. So we brought our scraps that we took out next door here, grabbed 2 new boards for top and bottom plate of a short wall we need here, 8 feet long, for the kitchen peninsula. Figured it was easier to cut and assemble over here and then just carry it next door. It won't be too heavy, and then find the right spot. There we go. Nice wall. Well, we stopped by to get a count of the basement posts that need to be replaced because we finally got the sizing, and we do need 8x8s, but masons are out here setting up all on the side of the building. They just got set up. Apparently they're going to start tomorrow, so we'll be back in a couple days. Another reason to have equipment when you have a construction company, you can buy things by the pallet full, then move it around as you need it. So we only need a few bags out of here, but I'll pull it out, load them onto my truck, put the pallet back away. Much easier than going to the store for little bits, picking them up, putting them on the cart, rolling them around. And, you know, you get to play with the Bobcat a little too, so that never hurts. Well, Dave figured out a nice easy way to get these down to the basement. There's a dolly inside. It seems easier than carrying 80 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think we're going to be short. We're not going to be running back to the store for a little tiny partial bag. Finally, time to fill these back in, and with the rain and time and all that, we will need to dig out a little more. But with being able to keep the existing footing, it's really not too much concrete. And then these should have that same footing, so we'll just need to kind of level off on top. So all in all, fairly simple, I think. Anytime hand mixing concrete's not the greatest day ever, but it could be worse.
I mean, it's mixed up. Just dump it.
You made that seem harder than it probably should be. So, yep, just filling her up. Fun little mixing tray since we're down in the basement. No sense in bringing the wheelbarrow. How many bags you got in there? 3? 2, 3? 4 bags?
Well, 3.5.
3.5 bags already? Okay. It's taken a little more than I was expecting it would, but we got plenty. Our windows are now out up here next door. So back to fill in the spaces around because electric starts in a couple days. As you can see here, we got some plumbing, got some heating and cooling, everything coming together pretty nicely. So a little interesting thing here in this 2x4, my understanding is that they will core a piece of wood in the bundles to check moisture and then drive a plug in. And I think they may have overdone it in this case, but I think that's what that is. You'll see it every once in a while. Nice and filled up. We'll let the water bleed out a little bit. Finish it off nicely. So the next 2 posts need to come out, but we're going to brace up the beam first. And we're out of lumber, so I guess that's going to be tough. Hope they're not hammering the beams over there again. That's what got him in trouble the first time. Alright, we're getting these other 2 posts out, so we are keeping the beam. It's in great condition, and then this one is already short and capped, so just kind of cutting through.
My little box would have fallen out.
Oh, there's the whole thing falling out. Timber!
No, that's not rust. Eroded.
Did you start saying rusting?
Rusty.
Yeah, that's a little rotten at the bottom. So we're gonna clean that out, verify there's concrete under it, patch it up. We'll be able to get our new post anchor on there. Probably want to knock off. Oh, nope, that's flat. That's just rotten stuff. Okay. So yeah, you start cutting the bottom on this one. Looks like.
It's almost done here.
Yeah.
It's so rotten on the bottom here.
Are you sure you're cut all the way through? It's still holding. Yeah, maybe it is. I guess it's just on it. Yeah, just be careful. Well, that's something. There we go.
Oh,
Oh, right on the bag. Soft landing.
yeah. Yeah, supposed to.
Another. Yeah, that was really holding things up well. Look at that. There's nothing left. I guess to get that rotten, there must have been water. Well, it was just wicking up the water from below. Duh. It wasn't water sitting down here. It's just that it was in full contact with the ground. So we will have post bases on the new 8x8s, and they're actually sitting at the lumber yard. We need to get by and pick them up one of these days. And this gonna hit one more time, but that's finished off nicely. So just a little more work, and
They're heavy.
we will probably actually start rolling new floor joist out on here before we even put the posts in. These 2x4s will hold joists just fine. They're not a lot of load. And then of course we need to cut that flush, fix up that pocket, get the beam extended across. There's quite a bit of work involved in getting this floor put back together. These all need to be cleaned out. But good to be back over here for the first time in a couple weeks. Almost 3 weeks, actually. Yeah, been a little while. Well, this all ended up working out pretty well. The plumber was actually able to completely avoid the joist over the wall by using an offset toilet flange, and then those two were able to come through. So, of course, we need to add some more support, namely joist hangers, but we can easily get that into place as we're doing the work with the windows over here. So got these in. So nice little conglomeration of pipe there. And then we're also gonna drop these ceilings down to conceal that pipe, of course. And we don't want to go below the window headers, but they kept it tucked up nicely. So that should work out. And back here, they were actually able to get away with using a loop vent because this wall doesn't attach to anything. So all coming together pretty nicely. Finally gonna get these walls in the entry alcove up. Electricians need them, so be a little tighter for getting stuff in. But one more thing off the list. Unfortunately, you can tell it's a Monday morning and that I worked all weekend, because this wall is too long, and I know exactly how long it is. 3 inches. Alright, a little bit of ceiling lowering. I already got that bathroom, so just need a few inches to get around the plumbing. Easier to drop the ceiling, make that all work. We also still need to hanger that, but I don't know how many pieces. Whatever, run across here and it makes the space a little nicer too, a little bit lower. Well, we're back over here next door again for a quick little add-on project. Change ordering on flat framing for the back wall here. It'll make the electricians happier because they can get the switch and outlet circuit in easier, but also this wall's a little on the uneven side, so make the drywall a lot easier. And as we suspected months ago, definitely needed to do the lintel over that window. It all fell out. So it's in process, but the masons aren't here today, so we're gonna leave that chunk out. Just do the door part, then the electricians can finish. They got just a few more things to wrap up, then they can get their inspection. Ooh, electric wires, pipes, ductwork. It is just about ready for the final framing inspection, and then they can get insulation and drywall. Then it's on the home stretch. So flat framing is always fun. You got to make sure you don't nail it to the floor. Well, I mean, you should always make sure you're not nailing it to the floor. It's just even easier. I spoke too soon. It's even easier when you're doing this. Okay, I'm gonna get the measurements for the door. Spoke too soon.
yourself.
Yeah. I got this. You should have just stood out there. You could have walked right through the door.
Yeah.
Well, what? It doesn't need to be a. Well,
Yeah, it does.
it needs to go around the front.
Right in the front.
Next time they can fish it however
Fish it. They so choose.
however they're inclined.
Okay.
Oh, what? The nail's sticking out right there.
Well, who put that nail there?
Joe.
Man, when did he do that?
Long time ago.
About 100 years ago?
There's another one. There's another sticking out a little bit right there.
Here.
Yep. Next problem. Mason's blocked up the outside nicely of these old coal chutes. I thought they were going to use bigger block and support the joists, but I guess they used 8-inch block probably instead of 12-inch. Could have used a little more, so we can support that one pretty easily with a wee little wall, I think. Over here, it seems to be more angled. That may take a little more work. I'm not sure if we're gonna need to level that off with some concrete, potentially, but I guess we'll see when we get it open. Oh, we got some pressure treated lumber. We already got that temporary 2x4 up there on both of them that was just meant to hold it like much shorter than we ultimately, or we thought it was going to be a much shorter time than it ultimately was, but it worked. So we'll reuse that in the process here.
I touched it. I was worried that I was going to cry and was like, ooh, let's do it.
Well, I mean, it's not 100% rotten, just like 95%. Oh, yeah.
I will call
Nobody wants to get close.
That'll do it. You just gotta show it who's boss. Three acorns and a big spider. I love going on a nature walk in the morning. You just can't hire good help. Had two options. One of them was wrong, and it chose the non-option that is also wrong. I think if you cut the block, the rest of it will lean.
Enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that ought to work.
That'll work for him.
Yeah. Good stuff. I'll pop them back over here after the masonry repairs. The wall here is, for the first time, actually in place. And they've been going around working on the fire blocking. You gotta transfer, or make sure the fire doesn't transfer through. So stuff along there, they got caulk, they got foam, a variety of different ways. And then I think this is one of the few windows, or one of only a couple that still need to be framed out with a buck like this. I fixed up the lintels and all that. So Oh, well, there's actually more than I realized that's still... Well, actually, they added in new there. I bet they're just reusing where it was still halfway decent. Waste not, want not. So, you can see all the electric up here as well. Solar ready conduit right here that will go up. So this is basically ready for inspection up here. Well, and downstairs. We'll walk down there in a moment. But as I was saying, they got a finish carpenter that has started that'll be working full-time, just going project to project, doing everything after drywall, and he's been taking care of the window bucks, so we don't have to come do it. That is fine with me. And I don't know if I ever showed the final front door. Well, you were just modeling the front door.
What?
You were just modeling the front door there. So that worked out pretty nicely. The lights are off, but we had pulled this down for the brick repairs. They got that all taken care of. It's all back in place. So same thing, they had to go a little heftier with 2x around the windows down here for the bucks. And this all ready to go back here with the electric in the back wall where we flat framed that out. So that actually worked out pretty nicely to flat frame it, even though that wasn't the original plan. Made all that electric heck of a lot easier. So yeah, that's pretty much the finished product, waiting for inspection any day now. They got some insulation delivered today, so that'll be ready to start going in the walls, where it goes in the walls at least, any day now. So I think that will also wrap things up for now. One final walk around with the framing still visible here. Next time we pop in here, they'll probably have drywall going, which will be great. So thanks for rebuilding with us as always. If you haven't already done so, we'd really appreciate a like and a subscription. And again, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys on the next video down at all the projects here involving the corner store and beyond.